Why do some people seem effortlessly more attractive? We have all encountered people who make a lasting impression without being overly talkative or constantly seeking attention. When they walk into a room, people's eyes are naturally drawn to them. Even after they leave, they remain on our minds. Their appeal is not necessarily rooted in physical beauty or wealth. Instead, a significant part of their magnetism comes from their sense of mystery. The human mind is naturally drawn to the unknown. Whenever information is incomplete, our brains instinctively try to fill in the missing pieces. This is why people who do not reveal everything about themselves often leave a stronger and more lasting impression. Mysterious people do not rush to respond. They understand that silence is not a sign of weakness or uncertainty. More often, it reflects emotional composure, confidence, and self-control. Most people feel uncomfortable when a conversation falls silent and instinctively try to fill the gap with words. Someone who is comfortable with silence, however, quietly takes control of the interaction. In those moments, something fascinating happens in the listener's mind. They begin asking themselves, "What is this person thinking? Why didn't they respond immediately? Did I say something wrong?" The human brain dislikes uncertainty, so it naturally starts creating its own narrative. Sometimes, silence communicates far more than words ever could. Being selectively available, not emotionally distant. Many people assume that being attractive means being difficult to reach or emotionally unavailable. In reality, that is not the secret. A mysterious person does not pretend to be unavailable. They are simply intentional about who has access to their personal life. They maintain healthy boundaries. They do not share every detail of their lives. They do not give their time to everyone. They are not constantly available to answer every message. These choices are not meant to manipulate others. Rather, they reflect respect for their own time, peace of mind, and personal boundaries. Like anything scarce, availability becomes more valuable when it is genuine rather than manufactured. We live in a world where almost everything is shared. Social media has encouraged people to document even the smallest moments of their lives. But people with quiet depth understand that not everything needs to be revealed. They choose what to share rather than hiding who they are. They do not express every emotion the moment they feel it. They do not announce every future plan. They do not seek validation by broadcasting every achievement. This intentional restraint leaves others with the feeling that there is always more to discover. The power of what remains unsaid. One of the most powerful communication skills is knowing what does not need to be said. People with a strong presence rarely over-explain themselves. When asked a question, they answer honestly, but they avoid unnecessary details. They do not feel the need to constantly justify their choices. They do not believe every decision requires an explanation. When we leave some things unsaid, the other person's mind continues to engage with us. And what occupies the mind tends to be remembered. The brain loves predictability. Mystery interrupts it. The human brain is constantly trying to predict what will happen next. When someone always reacts, speaks, or behaves in exactly the same way, interactions gradually become less stimulating. However, when a person cannot be predicted with complete certainty, the mind becomes more attentive and engaged. This does not mean being inconsistent or playing emotional games. It simply means being a multidimensional person, sometimes serious, sometimes playful, sometimes calm, sometimes energetic. This natural variety keeps interactions fresh and engaging. The scarcity principle. What is less available often feels more valuable. Psychology has long recognized a concept known as the scarcity principle. People tend to assign greater value to things that are limited or less accessible. To some extent, this principle also applies to human relationships. When someone is constantly posting, explaining, appearing everywhere, and seeking attention, there is little left for others to discover. But when their presence is intentional and balanced, every interaction feels more meaningful. That is why people with quiet confidence often seem more valuable, not because of their appearance, but because of the quality of their presence. One of the brain's most fascinating characteristics is its desire for completion. Whenever we receive only part of a story, our minds instinctively imagine the rest. That is why sometimes a brief smile, a half-finished sentence, a lingering glance, or even a moment of silence can remain in someone's memory far longer than hours of conversation. Well-balanced ambiguity gives imagination room to work, and imagination often creates something even more compelling than reality itself. Being mysterious does not mean being cold, manipulative, or hiding your true personality. Instead, it means speaking with calm confidence, feeling comfortable with silence, maintaining healthy personal boundaries, not sharing everything with everyone, valuing quality over quantity, allowing people to discover who you are gradually, over time. Ultimately, the most captivating people are not those who constantly seek attention. They are those whose quiet confidence, emotional balance, and thoughtful presence leave a lasting impression without demanding the spotlight. Human beings naturally value what is not immediately available, and what remains partially undiscovered often continues to inspire curiosity long after the first encounter.